I've got an Overtone example I'd like to show you I've been working on this evening, and probably makes sense also to show you how to get started if you haven't ever used it before. It's pretty simple. Here we've got Emacs on the left hand side, and on the right hand side we've got fresh checkout from GitHub, the latest Overtone, which we'll need for this example. And within it we're just running line 2 swank, and we've got a swank server started. So from the Emacs side I can just sign connect, get a connection, yep, there it is, and then just use overtone.live. And you can see now it's going to load up Overtone, boot Super Clojure, and get things started. Whilst that's going on, I can show you the file I've been writing. So it's in the examples directory, so in source, Overtone, examples, timing, and internal sequencer. This is it here. So I've added a lot of comments if you want to spend the time to read through what's going on. Excellent, so Overtone started. Let's just focus on this buffer now. We can call the namespace. And so for this example we need a few buffers. So these are going to describe when to trigger the synthesizer. So it's like a 8-step sequencer. So each one of the different indexes in each of the buffers represents a whether or not to play the synthesizer, and each of the buffers represents different synthesizers to play. So let's get those fired up. And also for this example we've got a centralized pulse timer, so a global metronome as it were, which runs at quite a high resolution. You can get it even higher if you want to. So you have this thing ticking really fast, which is the root trigger. We can also have a count, so how many ticks have actually gone through, which can be useful to look at. And also from this we can derive things like the beat, so we can say that the beat is actually a fraction of the number of root pulses. And similarly for the count, how many beats have happened. Here's our fraction, so we've got for every 30 root triggers we're going to create a new beat. And let's create some synthesizers which will actually drive these buses for us. So you can imagine a bus as a wire that contains the actual signal that you're plugging into any other arbitrary synthesizer to tell it, hey, there's a new beat or there's a new trigger that's happened. Now we can pull in some freesound stuff. So these are samples straight from freesound.org. So Overtone has support for that, so I can just pull these in. Now if you've never used this before, it might take a little bit of time to actually download. I'll do that on the fly in the background thread. And here's a synthesizer I've created to actually play the samples from freesound with a bit of fun modulation just thrown in. Of course we can't have an example without some dubstep bass, so here's Dan Styles dubstep bass, but also modified to work with these triggers I've shown you before, so the pulses. So hopefully we can modify that in time and in sympathy with the timing. Here's a nice super saw sound. Now let's see if we can get it working. So all we need to do is just trigger this off. This is going to create us create us our synthesizers. So this is our timers, so the root and the beat triggers and counts. Here's all our kick drums, our clicks, our booms, and our subbies. So let's fire that off. So they're playing in the background now, but because we haven't triggered anything yet, nothing's going to work. So let's create an empty palette to play with. So as you can see now, each of the numbers here, 1 represents to play or not to play. So let's probably should have started with this all reset just to make it clear what's going on. So here notice now the kick only starts right at the beginning of the bar. So now we only have the kick. Kick and the boom. Nice. Some clicks. So as you can see now, we're already having fun. We can just start playing around with this, mixing in, having fun with what's going on. We can also do things like use the Clojure functions to actually mix us something random on the fly. So every time I evaluate this, I get a new one. So I'm trying to have some fun. Of course, course, we can pre-program our own more interesting rhythms. Because we're on a global metronome, we can just totally change the rate of this on the fly. So, nice and slow or fast. Yeah. And then we can get this dubstep involved. So notice how it's actually wobbling in time with the beat. We start playing with that. Get the super source going.